into the vlog. So today we're going to be talking all baby products. So 0 to 3 month, newborn, baby stuff, things that you must have, things that have made our life a whole lot easier. And I'm going to start this video off with saying, number one thing you're going to need is patience, because she's awake and she's not supposed to be. So let's go handle that before we can handle all the other stuff. Okay? And we're back. So we are going to start with, I want to say, the youngest necessity must-have things that you should definitely have in your life that's going to make your life a whole lot easier. This video is not sponsored in any way. These are my honest opinions on every product that we're going to be talking about. Even if it was sponsored, obviously I'm an honest kind of gal, and it would still be honest regardless. But I thought I'd make that little disclaimer. Right now I have moved her to the swing. She normally takes a pretty good nap, that first nap, but she's kind of boycotting it this morning. So we're going to roll with it and show you some things that kind of make our life easier when it comes to getting your hands free, things that we used really in that first month. So one of those things was this swing. Now this swing is the Graco Sense to Soothe. Now the whole thing about this swing was that it was supposed to change up the swing motion and the noise when the baby started crying. It's supposed to be able to sense when they cry. It should be able to hear it, and it'll change up the configurations of stuff. It has never detected her cry ever, but we do still love it because of this motion here that it makes. She absolutely loves this. Like, it has 4 different motions with 3 different speed levels for each of those motions. It has 3 different sounds. She loves it. Look at her. Loves it. So we use this as soon as we come home. She absolutely loves this. Sometimes she boycotts this as well, and she's just wanting to be free and kind of on the floor, but that first month or 2, we use this religiously. She absolutely loves this swing. So something else that we absolutely love and makes our sleeping so much better are swaddles. Now, of course, when we first brought her home from the hospital, we used the traditional blanket swaddle because she was teeny tiny and didn't have all the strength that she does now. So it was really easy to be able to swaddle her in those blankets, and our favorite swaddles were Solly Baby. They were really stretchy. Yeah, they were really stretchy, and they did a great job at keeping her all tied up in there, and she loves being swaddled. Ain't it right? Yeah, so now that we gotten bigger and we like to soothe ourselves with our hands, we found these swaddles, and we got this off of Amazon. I'm going to link everything. Yeah, so I'm going to link everything down below in the description box. We have this swaddle right here that she's obsessed with. It's really light and stretchy. It's probably time for us to go up a size because we need a little bit more in length. But this makes it easy for diaper changes at night because you can just zip this up, not have to unswaddle her completely. Yeah, and she won't fully wake up. We were using those halo swaddles at the beginning, which we did love those. When she started sleeping lighter, we noticed that if we would go to change her diaper, you would have to unvelcro her arms with that halo swaddle. Even though it had that zip up, it wasn't going up far enough, and that was really defeating the purpose of that. So we wanted to make sure we kept her asleep and comfy. So we found these swaddles, and she really loves this one. And there's going to come a day where they're not going to want to do anything but be with you. And you're going to still need to be able to get stuff done. That's where the baby wrap comes into play. Now, I understand not everybody wants to wear their baby, and that's totally fine, but she loves it. And this is the Solly Baby Wrap. So I'm going to put her in this now, kind of show you how we do it. Also, get more than one passy. baby. Mention more than one passy, and I don't just mean more than one of your favorite, because in the beginning you are not going to know what her favorite or his favorite is. So you're going to need a couple of them. You're one of those that loves the look of the Ryan and Rose Cutie Pat, and I did. I bought 2 of them, and I bought some matching clips to go with them. And I knew to only take one of them out of the pack. Those passies are like $12 a piece. And they're super cute because one side's a teether, one side's a passy, and they're in a ton of colors. So they can match any outfit the baby can possibly have. But she did not take them. Now, I did not try the flat ones. We only tried the normal ones, round 1, stage 1, whatever it was called. But it's almost like it was too big or too heavy for her. She would use it for a little bit and then she would drop it. So she couldn't leave it in her mouth, and that was like not happening. So one that she took immediately was the Soothie, and that is what is attached to the Wubbanub. She absolutely loves that one. When she's in this carrier, I do like to use that one because we can tuck it. Since it's attached to that stuffed animal, we can just kind of tuck it in there and give it to her. Another favorite of hers is the Bibs USA passies. Those are very light, they're not bulky at all, and they're cute. They have a ton of colors. So we have an abundance of those Bibs USA passies. One reason, because eventually when she starts wearing them on her, when we're using the passy clips, we're not really using those right now. We do use them sometime, but I don't think that's really a necessity, because if they're sleeping with a passy, you obviously don't want them to have that pacifier clip because it can get wrapped around their neck, or anything bad can happen with those. So you want to make sure that you're only giving them the passy. We're not really using the clips right now. We do have a few, and of course they're color coordinating, but we use them just to make sure that if we drop one like I just did, or we lose one, that we have a backup, because they are very important. Like right now, she wants a passy. She is sucking on her hands, so we're going to go find her a pat pat. Now that we got our pat pat, let's talk about some sleeping things. Thing that we used immediately when we got home. The DockATot is something that a lot of people either loved it or felt like they didn't need it. This was something that we used immediately when we got home, and we still use it and will continue to use it. She still fits in it great. This is the deluxe size. They do have a bigger size, I think is the grand. One thing I will recommend though is getting a color that maybe hides stains a little bit better. So I always have something over this to keep the white looking good. I have washed it once, and I will tell you, it is aggravating trying to get this cover back onto the cushion. We also have the Snuggle Me, which is another thing that I would recommend getting in a darker color, but you also can take the cover off of this. This one's a little bit easier to wash. Now, we did get this from a friend. We just borrowed it. We're going to give it back. Because I had the DockATot, I didn't feel like we were going to necessarily need both of them. We use them for different things. I mean, obviously, they're both used for sleep, but she kind of outgrew this one already. You can leave their legs kind of hanging over the end, but as far as choosing one over the other, let's talk about some of the differences in the two of them. Okay, so with that DockATot, you're going to have a little bit more room in the middle with those raised up edges. With the Snuggle Me, I liked it better when she was the smallest. Like, unless I was awake and could watch her in that DockATot, I felt a little leery, is that the right word? Leery about it, because I felt like if she was to roll her head over, it would be smashed into the side and she couldn't breathe. With the Snuggle Me, there wasn't that issue because she was laid in it, and she would literally have to like roll all the completely, you know, the way over for her to get her face onto it. But with that DockATot, I was a little afraid that she was going to smother herself. And we had her between us that first week we brought her home. So we did put her in the bed with us in the DockATot, and I could not sleep. Could not sleep. And now we have a Bassinet, but because you know, she was so fresh and new, she was our first baby, we were a little nervous. So we wanted her right there where we could both watch her. And that just kind of made me a little scared. And then my friend Anna said, well, I have a Snuggle Me if you want to borrow it and you can try it out. So we did, and it fits perfectly in the Bassinet, the Halo Bassinet. The DockATot and the Snuggle Me do. But of course, at first, like I said, I was like not going to put her in that DockATot because I'm just like, But the Snuggle Me was perfect, and we used that for probably that first 2 months. She still naps in the Snuggle Me, but now the Dock-A-Tot is my absolute favorite because it does open at the end. There's a buckle, so when they get longer, they can still use it. So we do love this. I think she loves this one more now, just because it's more like around her and she feels a little bit more secure, just because the Snuggle Me is kind of under her and not around her, if that makes sense. So if you've been trying to figure out which one, I mean, just figure out which one you're more comfortable with. They're both kind of on the expensive side, but I do think they are necessary. We use one of them every single day, multiple times a day. She sleeps in the Dock-A-Tot every single night inside of her bassinet, or inside of the crib. It's going to make transitioning from the bassinet to the crib a whole lot easier, because it's going to seem familiar and not be a complete shocker to her once we completely switch her over to the crib. So here is her bassinet. This is the one that swivels. I really like this one because it's completely mesh all the way around. Don't have to worry about hers if she smashes her face into it. She's not going to suffocate. But the thing is, because when we first got home, I laid her in this as a newborn with nothing in it, of course, and I just felt like it was massive and there was just so much room, and I just felt a little off about it, which is why we started putting things inside of it. Obviously, Halo does not recommend you to put anything in there because of suffocation, but I watch her like a hawk. Plus, she does not move. Like, and once she's asleep, she doesn't move. And if she moves, she makes noise, which wakes me up. But I love the fact that the Dock-A-Tot and the Snuggle Me both fit in here. Obviously, you don't need that. They do sell a newborn insert, so if you want to go that route, you definitely can. It's like 50 bucks. Or just go ahead and get one of those like nesting pillows. I do like that the side of this just nicely goes down. Trust me, this is necessary when you're half asleep and you're trying to get them out of there to feed them. Another must-have is obviously a diaper bag, but not just any diaper bag, but one of them that's going to be comfortable. You're going to have to make doctor's appointment visits very early on, and if you don't have any help and you're not going to have anybody to go with you, that means you're going to have to carry everything by yourself. My biggest recommendation is going to be getting a backpack style diaper bag, and this one is from Freshly Picked. This is my absolute favorite. It is leather. I have took this thing all over the place. Super durable. It has a ton of storage and it looks nice. They have a ton of colors, so if this gray ain't your jam, they got a ton of colors, but we wanted to keep it neutral so that with multiple babies, it wouldn't be like, that's a girl's bag, that's a boy's bag. Some other things that you're going to need up front, I would highly recommend gripe water. Now, I have two different kinds of gripe water. I got the Welleman's kind, and you have to refrigerate that. And I was thinking when I bought it, I'm like, oh, you have to refrigerate that? That means it's good for them, blah, 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 because it needs to be refrigerated. Then I also started thinking, Paige, when has Mila ever really had anything that was cold? If we end up giving her any breast milk that's been frozen, we just kind of let it be room temperature. She doesn't want it like extremely warm. She'll drink it if it's somewhat a little bit cold, but as far as like being straight up refrigerated, she can't hardly like swallow it. And now you can't give them gripe water until I think they're 2 weeks old. Shortly after that we did, because she has bad hiccups and gas, and gripe water has been everything. This is like the big bottle of it. I think you can only keep it for like 6 weeks after you open it or something like that. So I just write the date on the back of it so that I know when I opened it. If you're going to be formula feeding, or if you're going to pump and then give them a bottle, then obviously bottles are going to be something that you need. One system that I wanted to share with y'all is this one by Twist. Twist by Kind. She loves the nipple on these. It's the slow flow. It's like the most realistic flow that I could find that was comparable to like your breast. She has literally tried them all. We have the Nano BB, which she used. She took pretty much anything we gave her. That's something else that I've read and seen on a lot of like mommy blogs and stuff. Not all babies take all bottles, so you might have to get a few. She also takes the Avient, but you're going to have to make sure that you get the proper nipple to go on these. Don't just get these bottles and think you're just going to pop whatever comes in the box and put it on there, because it's going to be super fast. And then if you're trying to get them to breastfeed and then you also let them get a bottle, and if they can get the milk out of that a whole lot faster, they might start preferring the bottle over you. And we do not want that to happen. So make sure you get a like 0. I think it's 0 slow flow that you can possibly get. That's why I like the twist. Why do I keep calling it twist? The Kind bottle. Also, it's a bag system, so you can pump straight into the bag, you freeze it in the bag, thaw it in the bag, and then stick the bag inside of this. It's my favorite system that we have. The nose Frida is, I don't know where the top of it is. I think I washed it. This is something else that you need. This is something we used straight on because she sounded really like congested at first, and I feel like a lot of babies are just because they still got a lot of that gunk from inside of them, so they're trying to get all of that out. This was super helpful. We weren't a big fan of that bulb, like aspirator, whatever thing it's called. I don't even know if that's the right word, but you know what I'm talking about. The nose Frida, it just has this little thing. You stick it up there and you suck it from the other side. It does not get in the tube. It will not travel into your mouth, so don't be afraid thinking that a booger's gonna get like caught in your throat, because that ain't gonna happen. Let's talk clothing. Wow, I know that it's so, especially for little girls, because you know, stores just make so much more clothes for little girls than they do little boys. I actually have bought a lot of little boy clothes or a lot of clothes out of the boy section because I like neutral stuff, so that she'll be able to share it with a possible little brother in the future. And I just like the neutral stuff. I mean, I dress in a lot of neutral colors. This is probably like the first color y'all seen on me in forever. While I know it's very tempting to buy all the little tiny cute things that you can, you have to think about comfort for the baby and easy accessibility for the parents. One thing that I absolutely love and are hard to find are the inverted zipper footies. Now this is going to be good for baby because these have the little cuff things on the hand, which is important because even though the baby's nails are like, they're not really sharp, but they're kind of long, and we do have a file. I also have fingernail clippers that are special for baby. These are by Frida Baby, and they have a little like spot where you can see how far the nail is in there. I didn't start using these until I think she was 2 months old when I started using these. And we do have an electric file, which I was using that early on, so I'll link both of those. But this makes it really easy to just cover up those little hands because y'all, them nails grow fast. Like, you can cut them probably 2 or 3 times a week and they're still going to have like some pretty long nails. So that's why I love these. So they have that, so it's going to keep their hands covered and warm. A lot of times Mila's hands were just cold and she wasn't necessarily scratching herself, but they were just really cold. So this would help. As well as they have the footies attached, so you don't have to worry about putting on shoes or socks or anything. Sometimes her feet would even still be cold, so we would still pop on some socks underneath these. But I like these because it is the inverted zipper, which is the same as those Swaddles that I was talking about a while ago, because when you're going to do a diaper change, you just have to unzip it, pop their legs out, and you don't have to totally undress them. Now, obviously the other zipper is still good too, because you're not necessarily having to take their arms out or anything, but their chest will be exposed. And when Millie was little, y'all, she hated diaper changes, hated getting her clothes changed, just because it was, you know, new and out of her comfort zone. So we tried to do as minimal as possible, and that was when we discovered the gowns. The gown was the easiest thing, and we still use the gowns. I'm gonna link a couple different ones down below that we absolutely love, but they also have the mittens attached to them, but you just pull them up and pull them back down. I'm telling you, it is the easiest thing in the world. They also have some of that button, but this is just so easy because you just pull it up, change your diaper, pull it back down. You don't have to snap anything, you don't have to zip anything. It's the easiest thing you possibly can get. So I would recommend getting those for when they're little. And we still use them at night because, once again, it's easy for diaper changes. And we try to make our life and her life as simple and easy as possible. The Boppy Lounger. We use this every single day, multiple times a day when she first came home. We love this thing. She uses it some now, but not as much. I did put it on the floor last night and let her lay in it, and she kind of loved that. So I was like, why didn't I think of doing that before? But we love this because she was so little and you kind of didn't have nowhere to put her like at first. We would sit at the kitchen table to eat and we would put her on top of the table in this and she slept. Obviously this is from when they're little because she's not moving a whole lot then. Now you don't put this up on something unless you are right there, your hands are right there, because she is mobile, she's moving, she could flip out of this thing. She can roll from her front to her back. So I feel like rolling from her back to her front is coming in the near future. So obviously I'm going to keep a close eye on her. Speaking of, she's right there. But this is like 30 bucks, whereas the Docatot and the Snuggle Me is over 100, almost 2, I don't even remember. But I would highly recommend one of these. You can easily just bring it wherever you're going. Maybe get one for your parents' house or wherever you're going to be going a lot. They're easy to just grab. They have a handle on them. We use it at bath time. We just lay that out up on the counter that we're washing her. We put her towel that she's going to be using. We go ahead and lay that out, so when we transfer her from her tub to her towel, we can easily lay her on the towel. She's comfortable. She feels, you know, not like she's laying on a cold anything. So she's nice and comfy. We wrap her up in that towel and she doesn't cry anymore. She also hated baths. That's another thing. You're going to want to make sure that you get a really good supportive bathtub. We have 2 different kinds. One, hopefully, we have not got to use it yet, and hopefully we will be able to use it here soon. But the other one is for all stages. So regardless of like newborn, when they get bigger, it has a sling in it, and then you can remove it when they get bigger and they can sit up unassisted. I will link that one down below, as well as the other one. The other one is really good if you have a big enough sink to put this in. It's pretty much just a seat. It doesn't fill with water. The one that we have now is an actual like tub, and you fill it with water, and then it has a sling for her to sit in. I'm sure you guys have seen it in other vlogs. Since she's back here, let's talk about baby monitor. So we have the Owlet system, which means we have the little Owlet sock, and we also have the Owlet camera, which is Wi-Fi enabled, so it's wireless. You can look at it on your mobile devices or iPad like I have it pulled up. The one thing that we don't like about the system is just because you have to keep it up on your phone or your iPad. And if I'm doing work, and you guys know that I'm an influencer, so I'm always creating content, and about 60% of that is on my phone. Maybe not 60, but a big portion of it's on my phone. And if I'm trying to watch her and my iPad's dead, that means I'm going to have to keep looking at her on my phone. So that's a little on the aggravating side, just because I would like for her to stay up at all times so I can continue to watch her like a hawk. Once she switches over to her crib, we might consider changing out the camera, just because in the middle of the night, if I want to know what's going on, I don't want to have to fiddle with my phone to pull up the app, to try to pull it up to see her and wait for it to load. I want to just have like an actual monitor thing in my hand that's on at all times, that I can just look at it whenever. So we might end up switching it. I don't know. As far as the little sock thing, now a lot of people swear by that Owlet sock, and I thought that I was going to be one that really wanted it. But let me tell you something. I had a little talk with Jesus, and my anxiety when I first got home was a little bit high. And I feel like that can be the case with all new parents, especially just new babies in general. You're a little nervous, especially, you know, bringing them home. You're scared something might happen, so you're missing out on some sleep because you need to keep your eye on them. That's where that Owlet sock comes into play, because you can just put it on them. If their heart drops to a certain thing, it's supposed to like alert you. We couldn't figure out for like that first. We tried it one night and it kept going off, and just the noise of it going off in general tears your nerves up. Like, tears your nerves up. So the reason it was going off was because we didn't have it on correctly, and we couldn't seem to figure out how to get it on correctly. But every single time it would go off, my heart would just drop, thinking that something was wrong. And I just had a little talk with Jesus, and I was like, Lord, if something is meant to happen to her, if there is something in your big plan that I don't see, that sock's not going to stop it from happening. So I just asked him to ease my heart and to give me peace of mind, so that I wouldn't constantly be worried about her and necessarily need that sock. So that sock's not going to save that baby. So yeah, we haven't used it. Now, like I said, you can obviously get it, and a lot of people use it. Just figure out how to put it on correctly. I'm sure we could have watched a video on how to put it on correctly, but I was just like, you know what? What's meant to be will be, and God has a plan regardless of this sock. So we decided no Owlet sock. Another little baby gadget that we absolutely love is her new bouncer. Now, we got this around the 2-ish, almost 3-ish month mark, and absolutely love it. It does not come with this little activity bar. You have to get that separately. We love this, and she loves this because, as you see, it's sitting up pretty high. She's super nosy and wants to sit up and see all the things. So when I seen how high this sat up, I was immediately sold. Now, this is on the more expensive side, but I think think it's totally worth it. It does like recline, so it has like 3 or 4 different positions you can sit it at, but most of the time she stays at the highest. Now if she falls asleep in it, you can obviously recline it back so then she's laid down. You can also fold it down completely so it's easily stored. It could slide right underneath that couch if I wanted it to. And then one other baby gadget I wanted to talk about, her play mat. I love this. Now this does have a little bit more color on it, but I feel like it's more muted tones and it's really fun, and it's predominantly black and white, which newborns only see in black and white. At least that's what studies have shown. So I wanted to make sure that I played up on those high contrasting color stuff, and I found this one. Y'all, I got this for like 30 bucks. I don't know if it's still that price, but I will try to find it. This just has a little button there. It has lights that light up underneath there. Obviously, you can hear the music playing. It has all these little thingies hanging on it, which she loves now. She didn't really notice them at first, but we started doing tummy time immediately. You do not have to wait for a certain time to do tummy time, and I think that's why she's so strong. And she already rolled over before she was even 2 months old. She rolled over from her belly to her back, and she's been doing it like ever since. So we've been doing tummy time. I think she was 3 days old the first time we did tummy time, and we do it for about 5 minutes, I think, at first. 3 5-minute sessions a day, and then it moved up the stronger she got. Now we just leave her until she just sort of gets irritated with it, and then we flip her over to her back and just let her look at all the lights and stuff. Changing pad. This was something that a lot of you were just like, you don't need one of them, just put them on the floor, put them on your bed, put them on the couch. And I'm just like, She hated getting her diaper changed at first, like I mentioned. But something that she's learned to love is getting her diaper changed. Like, she just loves getting up on top of the dresser. She loves getting on that diaper changing mat. It's nice and cushiony. It's easily washed out. So if something happens and there's a blowout situation, you can easily wipe that sucker down and clean it and not have to worry about washing nothing and putting a cover in the washing machine and then put another one on. That's annoying. I didn't want to do all of that. And plus, I am not changing diapers on beds and floors and all of that. At least not dirty diapers, if you catch my drift. We've changed pee diapers like in the bed in the middle of the night, maybe on the couch, but for the most part, every diaper, 89% of her diapers are changed on that changing pad. And then next to her changing pad is her sound machine. That sound machine is pivotal. It's my favorite sound machine. Not that I have a bunch to compare it to, but I love this because you can control it from your phone. But you don't necessarily need the app or anything to control it. You can control it on the actual device itself. But if she's in the room and you don't want to go in there and it needs to be turned up or turned down or whatever, you can operate it from your phone, which makes life so much easier. Also, you can kind of train them. So when she hears it, it's on a timer, so she knows, okay, it's time for my nap. And you can use different sounds. So they know it's like, okay, this is bedtime, this is nap time. Or it can have a certain sound to wake them up. So, love it. We have 2 different ones. We have the newer version in our bedroom, which has the time on it, which I want it in there. So in the middle of the night when I'm doing those late night changes and late night feedings, I can look over and say, okay, it's so-and-so time. I fed her at blah, blah, blah. I normally text myself. I had the apps at first and was trying to keep up with how often she was being fed and wet diapers, dirty diapers. That just became too much. Unless your doctor says, okay, we need to keep up with this. They're not gaining enough weight. We need to keep a closer eye on these numbers. Then worry about it. But if not, do not stress yourself out with all of those things. I just sort of get lost with track of time sometime. So now I will text myself 12 a.m. left eat, so that I know next time let's start on the right. Or she slept at this time, so I'll be like, how long has she been asleep? My time's running into each other. And I'll go look and say, oh, she's only been asleep for 30 minutes. Okay, she didn't get a full nap. So that's what I've been doing. Obviously you can use your notes on your phone, whatever system you want. Another sound machine that we love is her travel sound machine, which is in her room. We're not going in there again because she's asleep. It is amazing. I will link that as well because I think that is something you desperately need up front, especially if you're trying to get out of the house and you want them to sleep and they're used to that white noise, but you don't want to kill the battery on your phone trying to pull up white noise. There's that. But also something that's on my phone is the shushing noise. Now, that's something that we have recently learned that she loves and will calm her down quickly. So I found a 45-minute loop on Spotify of the shushing noise. And I know y'all have heard it in a vlog. I'm going to play it for you. I have a 5-minute one, and then I have this 45-minute one. And most of the time we have to use that 45-minute one. But it's super helpful. I do use Spotify, so I'm like a monthly user or whatever. So I downloaded that so I can use it anywhere, anytime that I need to, just in case that sound machine isn't doing what she needs it to do. Back to diapers. So a diaper genie is also something that I think is necessary because you got somewhere to put all of them. At first, they don't really smell all that bad because I guess they're so tiny, like their little poopy diapers aren't that bad, but she's at 3 months now, and y'all, the one that she did yesterday almost blew me out the water, okay? So once it is inside that diaper genie, I cannot smell it anymore. Plus, I will go an extra step and I will put some essential oils. I've been using Thieves. I'll put a drop of essential oils on a cotton ball and slide it in the back of that diaper genie. Close that thing, and you can't smell anything. And when you do open it, all I smell is Thieves. So I've been doing that. Obviously, last thing that you absolutely 100% need is a car seat and possibly a travel system. We love the UPPAbaby Vista, and we have the UPPAbaby Mesa car seat. Love all the UPPAbaby stuff. Obviously that car seat fits perfectly right on that stroller. It also comes with a bassinet feature, which we have used a ton of times when we're walking for long distances and we're using that stroller. We will take her out of the car seat and put her in that bassinet because it's way more comfortable for her. She can nap freely. That bassinet can also be used as a actual bassinet. So they sell a wooden frame that you can put next to your bed, and you can actually put that bassinet in that frame. You're really getting your money's worth out of it. But I hope I was able to help you guys out and answer some of your questions and tell you all the things that we thought was a must-have for the 0 to 3 month. I do plan on making another one of these for like 3 to 6. So if you have any questions about anything or anything that you're going to need a recommendation on, go ahead and leave those down below in the comments so that when I do get ready to make that video in a few months, which I cannot believe, just leave me a comment down below and I will do my best to help you out. You guys have a beautiful and blessed day, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.